Well, welcome. Get you in here. It's been a while since I've done, hey, welcome. It's been a while since I've done an update on how to build the DIY kits that you guys have been buying quite a bit. And I get questions on them here and there because the videos that I have out are a little bit old. You used to have, in the video, it's not, you don't have the nice cutouts here. I used to just sell this and the board. There's too many failures in that. People, it's a little bit hard to get that on. So I figured I'd just attach it. So if you just get this, and then the buttons, I think it's like 69, 79, something like that. I don't know what will happen with the prices depending on whether you get either, on Amazon, Etsy, eBay, and my own website. I think the kits are only available on my own website, www.bacustomproducts.com, or my Etsy. And I think on Etsy it's a little bit more expensive, but that ships internationally. So we're going to get started here. So when you open it up, you're going to have it in that bag. What I like to do, you take your dongle right from your mouse, you plug it in, and I have some sort of keyboard event viewer up. So this just is a GitHub one. There's a few different kinds. So get it up and running, click around, make sure that works, okay? And then I'm gonna put the battery in. And if you're using this GitHub one, you wanna make sure you do F3 last. So I'm gonna go ahead and click these. O, J, enter, U, Y, M, and control. So it hits M and control at the same time. I, K, up, down, right, left, and then we'll go and do F3. Now, this is a Gspro one, and I do have TGC 2019. So TGC 2019, you're up and down, or W and S. That allows you to not only go up and down in the menus, but it also allows you to move your ball back and forth after a drop ball. The hotkeys in TGC 2019 are substantially better and more usable. But with Gspro is a better software. I haven't played TGC since I bought Gspro, and then I wrote my own hotkeys for Gspro. And I got some videos around showing you how to do that. You can write your own hotkeys. So anyway, we're going to make a black box. We're putting a bunch of them together. So I don't know. I'll try to clean them up, but I kind of take my lightsaber here and I hit it after I have already washed it down with isopropyl alcohol, or before. Probably do it before. Flame it and then wipe it with isopropyl alcohol. If I remember, I'll cut this little bit off, or in the new ones you won't have it. So if you look here, I don't see it in the camera, this little bit. So I'm going to cut that off just so it's not pushing on this part. You get your buttons, whatever buttons you have. Now, this solder is my favorite solder. It works really well. It flows really well. I build so many of these. I do wear gloves just so I'm not, playing with lead all the time. So first thing I do, I put that first one in, line it up. I remember I get a little fan here, and you get, just kind of blows it away so it's not right up into my face. So you make sure your tabs are in there, and you want to get a good amount of solder in there. Okay, and that's it. And then I take this, all the button tabs face down. Okay, that's in there. You want to make sure I have it at 380 degrees Celsius is what my soldering iron is running at. Pretty hot, pretty substantial. So, but I like it to flow. It flows down in, it creates that strength. I also use one of these little Allen wrench to push it in if you need to, so that fell into place. You want to make sure like it kind of piles up and then you roll it around and then it kind of gets sucked in there. You can see kind of gets sucked up in. Once that's good, then you can just start putting them in. I like to go around I'll show you the big one you got to worry about. It's a little bit off, but it's not terrible. Your enter and your J. So we'll come over here to J. What I like to do is bend my tabs down just a hair. So you watch this. If I hold these tabs, right, it doesn't go up. That's why I had to design this down to the nearest like 1/10 of a millimeter, all these little holes. So I'm going to push that in. I'm going to make sure these line up. Get my head out of the way. I don't know what you guys can see. Okay. Push it in, hold it down. You want a good amount, like you can see how much solder I'm pushing into this hole here. Okay, that one, and then enter's a little bit off, but I'm going to go around. I'm going to finish these up real quick. Just kind of the same thing. Okay, so we got all that done. We're all soldered up. Check it out. Now what I like to do, I'm going to take, I use CA glue. You don't have to. You can still use your glue gun. I use an extremely high temp, high heat, hot glue gun. That allows me to boast, you know, boxes that can be run over by a plow truck. Don't do it. I've already done it. You can watch that video, but my boxes are really strong. So I like to use my high temp hot glue gun, my CA glue. All right, so I'm going to take the battery. I'm going to put it in. That little red light turns on, turns off, and now there's no on or off with this. You just kind of leave it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my event viewer and I'm going to test again. So I, K, M in control, Y for heat map, U for putt. And in GitHub, the U and pause is going to be hit. That's fine. That's because mulligan, I connected 2 points for mulligan, M in control. Inside here, there's 2 points that connect in order to give me one button mulligan. It does nothing in your software. So if you see pause with when you hit putt and U, it doesn't matter. Ignore it. It's supposed to happen. Okay. Now fly over, which is O, J for shot cam, then enter, and it's the number pad enter. That's important for writing code. It does absolutely nothing in Gspro unless you're using one of my codes to add additional functions, which you don't need to do. This box runs, plug it in, delete, you turn something off. It's all in the instructions, and it all works. Now, I take this, I take a screwdriver, and this is just how I do it. This is, and I just kind of jam these wires in there. I push it in till that battery, and I leave the battery in there because you want to make sure the battery is just inside the lip of the box. Then I take my little bit of hot glue. You don't want to use a lot right now. You want it to get in there, and then you want it to dry nice and quick. So I have my fan here. I want it to blow on it. Now what I like to do is I like to kind of set that up on a button or whatever, let it dry. While that's drying, you're going to come to your plate. So here, you're going to take a knife, and some of them have it, some of them don't. There's like a rough edge here. So I scrape that off. I scrape that off. Now, a lot of these faults I'm describing are going to be worked out in software. Just haven't yet. So all it is a little burr there. So this you're going to have to cut off. This is the support. So you just take an X-Acto knife, slip it in, and just kind of take that off. And I'll try to do all of this for you. It's just a matter of, you know, how many I'm doing. So I have that in the new version. So I have a little drill bit here. I'm going to widen these out, which helps the screws sit in a little better. And again, all this stuff I'll probably do for you, but in the new ones, this is already done in software, so I don't have to do it. Okay, so now I'm going to take more glue. You want to make sure it gets behind that battery terminal there. You let it drop down behind there, not in front. Let it dry a little bit. That's it. This is typically when I'm letting glue dry. I'll let it sit. I'll go whack a few balls. I'll come back, let it sit. My simulator is just kind of right there. Now, hopefully this isn't your first video you're watching. You've seen a bunch of others. If it is, go watch the others. Some of them are, most of them are boring, but go watch them. If you want to do the stuff I'm doing, they're not boring. But as far as like entertainment value, maybe the one where I ran this over with the truck, that's kind of silly. So I'm letting that go. Letting it dry. Once I feel good about it dry, I'm going to pop out the battery. I kind of hold it, and I just, if your glue's dry, you don't have to worry about it popping out, but my glue doesn't dry that fast because it's a 300 watt. So I popped it out. Now I'm going to let it sit, but I'm going to come here, angle my fan. And this is another feature. You guys don't have to do this. I put a bunch of hot glue here, which kind of impacts or helps it take impact better. I basically strap the board with this hot glue. You don't want to put it here because I used to do it, but that's kind of like, you know, when airplanes used to get shot and they'd come back and they'd fix where the airplane got shot instead of where it didn't get shot, because the ones that got shot where the ones that came back didn't get shot where they should have been, you know, making them better, making them stronger. Kind of that little parable or whatever. So you don't want to put anything here because you want that to kind of free float with everything. If it's attached here, let's say you kick this, it might, you know, jostle stuff. So that just kind of makes it stronger. Not putting any glue there, counterintuitive, but the whole airplane wing thing. So now take this. I'm going to put that there. You're going to have your screws. And you're going to put these screws in here. All the screws are in. Now, kind of doing it how I do it when I'm building them for you guys, like the full box. But this is the kit video. But what I like to do is, again, I always test. I'm going to put another battery. I'm going to put the battery back in. And then there we go. Everything works. We're there. Now I'm going to pop that battery out. I haven't changed my battery in like a year, so I honestly have no idea how long they last. So I close it up and then you're good. So anyway, you'll get this other fatter screw. And the reason these are different colors, this is printed flat and this is printed upright. So put your screw on. Leave your battery in, obviously. I'm taking it out because I'm shipping this one. And there you go. You have a really nice looking box. So the whole kit, everything I just did here costs like $110 to $120. I'm not sure, depending on where you buy it. Again, eBay or Etsy or my website will give you different prices. Etsy is, some people feel safer with that, right? Technically, my website is some random website, and I do go through PayPal. That's all I do. It's just so it's safe for everybody. But anyway, that's what you get. You get a really nice board, and then watch the other setup video on how to kind of set the rest of this up as far as getting heat map not to shut your computer down. That's in the setup video, and I'll put another sticker on the box as well. And that's another one you'll scan and watch. So anyway, well, thanks for watching. I don't know what else to put in this. It's pretty simple. I do have the free print file online if you can do it. So you can buy the cheaper version without the box. So, all right, remember, I do it the wrong way, so you don't have to.